are the 3 steps? Number 1, you can see we have 2 elements in this bracket, and we have 1 element as a power on it. So the first step is square the first thing in the bracket. Let me run the 3 steps together before we take action. The first step is square the first thing in the bracket. The second step is multiply everything you can see there together. You can see x, you can see minus 3, you can see positive 2 as a power there. Multiply everything you can see together. Now the final step is square the last thing in the bracket. It's a simple thing. Now let's go one by one. The first step, square the first thing in the bracket. What is the first thing in this bracket? X. Square it. You have x squared. The second step is multiply everything you can see. What are the things you can see there? You can see negative 3, right? Negative 3 times. What else can you see? You can see positive 2 as a power there, right? Positive 2 times. What else can you see? You can see x. Say x. So what do you have? Minus 6x. So that is what you write down here. Is that okay? What the last step? Square the last thing in the bracket. The last thing in this bracket is negative 3. Don't tell me it is 3. It's not 3. This sign belongs to this 3. So it is negative 3. That is the last thing in this bracket. And whenever you square negative value, it gives you positive value. So negative 3 square is positive 9. So that is positive 9. That's the result. See how awesome that method is? It's without stress. Let's take question B using the same approach. 2x plus 1 whole square. Square the first thing in this bracket. The first thing in this bracket is 2x. And when you want to square 2x, 2 will be 4. When you square it, x will be x squared. So square of 2x is 4x squared. Multiply everything you can see. What are the things you can see? You can see 1, the positive 1. You can see 2. You multiply it. You can see 2x. So the result will be 4x when you multiply them. So you write positive 4x because it's not negative. There's no negative sign there. So square the last thing in the bracket. The last thing in this bracket is positive 1. When you square positive 1, your answer is still 1. So that is that. See how simple it could be. Lastly, on that, we have 1 minus 3x raised to power 2. To expand that, square the first thing in the bracket. The first thing in this bracket is 1. Square it, you get 1. Multiply everything you can see together. You can see minus 3x, can't you? You can see positive 2. You can see positive 1. When you multiply everything, you get minus 6x. As you can see. So you write minus 6x. And lastly, square the last thing in the bracket. The last thing in this bracket is negative 3x. Negative, when you square it, it gives you positive. When you square 3, it gives you 9. When you square x, it gives you x squared. So you have positive 9x squared. So the result is this. Do you understand? You can see it is simple. Example 3. Here, root 2 minus 1 whole squared. The first thing in this bracket is root 2. When you square root 2, what do you have? You have 2. Because it will be square root of 2 raised to power 2. This takes care of this. Because the interpretation of 2 raised to power square root of 2, the interpretation is 2 raised to power half. Now times that power 2, it cuts it. So, multiply everything you can see together. That is minus 2 root 2, because you can see minus 1. You can see positive 2 as the power. When you multiply them together, you get minus 2. You can see root 2, so that is minus 2 root 2. So square the last thing in the bracket, that is positive 1. So this will now be simplified into 3 minus 2 root 2, because 2 and positive 1 can be added together. So B, you have x plus 3 on scale. Now let me use this to assure you that this method we are using is the same thing as the method we used in example 1. We used 2 methods in example 1. The pragmatic approach in example 1 can also be used for this. How? You just express this. If you don't want to use the direct approach we have been using here, you express this as x plus 3 into x plus 3. It actually means that whenever you see an expression like this with power 2, it means that thing in bracket in 2 places. So you can now approach this again with the direct approach of example 1. X times x, x squared. Add the 2 constants together, you get 6. So it gives you positive 6x. Multiply the 2 constants together, you get positive 9. And that's the result. So if you use direct approach, even here, you are getting this. Let's see. Square the first thing in the bracket, you get x squared. Multiply everything you can see together. That is 2 times 3 times x. That's 6x. Square the last thing in the bracket. The last thing in the bracket here is 3 in the bracket. That is inside the bracket. So the last thing is 3. Positive 3. Square it is positive 9. That is it. So mathematics is easy to deal with. Now, question C. You have 2x minus 1 into x plus 2. This kind of expression, you cannot use direct approach whatsoever. You cannot use direct approach for this because the coefficient of x in this case is 2, it's not 1. It is only the second bracket, the second factor here, that has 1 as the coefficient of x. So when the coefficient of x is not 1, you cannot use direct approach. The coefficient of x must be 1 in 2 brackets. In the 2 brackets, the coefficient of the variable must be 1 before you can use direct approach. Now, how do we expand this? We say this is 2x into x plus 2, negative 1 into x plus 2. We take 2x in this bracket to expand this other bracket. We take negative 1, the second element in this bracket, to expand this bracket. Now, let's open the bracket here. We have 2x squared plus 4x, because 2x times 4 and 2x times positive 2, that gives positive 4x. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times positive 2 gives negative 2. So you have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. That is the end of that. So I want to believe, as far as expansion of algebraic term is concerned, you are well furnished now. Thank you. Example 4. You know, we are dealing with algebraic expansion and simplification. Now, this example 4 want to deal with the simplification aspect of it. So, simplify and factorize x plus 2 in bracket all squared minus 4x minus 8. How do we go about this? Expand this first. To expand, you are now familiar with it. Square the first thing in this bracket, which is x squared. Multiply everything you can see in the bracket and outside and on the bracket. So to say, that is positive 2 times positive 2, that is positive 4, times x, that is positive 4x. Now, square the last thing in the bracket. The last thing in this bracket is positive 2. When you square it, it gives you positive 4. You have expanded this. Now, write along minus 4x minus 8. So simplify. X squared, positive 4x, negative 4x cancels out each other. That gives 0. So we have positive 4, negative 8. Positive 4, negative 8 gives negative 4. Look at it very well. You owe someone 8 items. You have for your home, personally, 4 of such items. That means even if you are ready to pay your debt, out of the 8 you are owing, negativity symbolizes debt. So out of the 8 you are owing, you could only pay 4. You will still have 4 left unpaid. So that is why we have negative 4. Do you understand that analogy? Good. So looking at this is giving you the picture of difference of two squares. I've told you x squared is a perfect square. Negative 4, or let's say 4, the absolute value here, 4, is a perfect square. So express this 4 in power 2. It will be x squared minus 2 squared. Now finally express the expression as a product of 2 factors. As a product of 2 factors, that is x minus 2 into x plus 2. That is it, and that's the end of that. Let's go to example 5. Example 5. Find x squared plus y squared if x minus 2y, all in brackets, raised to power 2, equals 3y squared minus 4xy plus 7. This is an applied question under expansion and simplification. Applied question. So how are you expected to deal with this? First and foremost, expand this bracket. And as you expand, you write the other segment alongside. You write them alongside. How do we expand this? Square the first thing in the bracket, that is x squared. Multiply everything you can see, that is negative 4xy. Square the last thing in the bracket, positive 4y squared. Now equal 3y squared minus 4xy plus 7. Looking at this very well, try to collect the like terms. What do we mean by like terms in this case? The algebraic term, separate them from constants, from non-algebraic term. So we have x squared, negative 4xy, something is like it, negative 4xy on the other side. Bring it to this side, it gives you positive 4xy. Also, plus 4y squared here. Something is like it, having the same structure. And that is positive 3y squared. Bring it to this side and it becomes negative 3y squared. Don't forget, when you take an item across equal sign, it changes arithmetic sign from like positive to negative, negative to positive. And we have left on the other side only 7. So here we have x squared, negative 4xy plus 4xy gives 0. They negate each other. Positive 4y squared minus 3y squared. That gives positive y squared. I want to believe you understand this. Let's say y squared is a goat. Y squared is a goat. It will mean 4 goats minus 3 goats. 4 goats minus 3 goats gives you what? 1 goat. But what is the goat in this case? Y squared. So, and a way of writing 1 y squared is writing y squared. 1y square is the same thing as y square. When the coefficient of something is 1, we can write that thing without the 1. But we believe and we assume the 1 is still there. So we have finished this side, which is equal to 7. And what is the question? Find x squared plus y squared. So we have found it. X squared plus y squared is equal to 7. That's the end. The final example on this that I have for you, example 6. Find a squared plus b squared if this is equal to this. You know, this is just a follow-up of example 5. So write it, a minus b whole square equals a plus ab. The first thing to do, expand this. Square the first thing in the bracket, that is a square. Multiply everything you can see, that is minus 2ab. If you write minus 2ba, it's the same thing as minus 2ab. In case that's the way you write your own, that ordering does not matter. The rule of commutativity covers it. So, square the last thing in this bracket. The last thing in this bracket is negative b. Squaring it is positive b squared, which is equal to ab. So, separating your question, the question is a squared plus b squared. You can see it, it is there. You can see the reflection of that question there. Separate them. A squared plus b squared will be equal to ab. Taking negative 2ab to the other side, you have positive 2ab. Because you have taken it across the equal signs, it will change sign to positive from negative. So you now have a squared plus b squared, which is equal to ab plus 2ab. What does this mean? AB means 1ab, 1ab. Now, plus 2ab, which means 1 plus 2, 3ab. So this is 3ab. And that's the end. The question is, find a squared plus b squared. So here, a squared plus b squared equals 3ab. That is the end. Let me give you some assignments to enable you, try your hands on this and become experts. Let's take these simple assignments to try our hands on. The 4 assignments. If 2x minus 3, or in brackets, raised to power 2 equals px squared minus kx plus 9. Find p plus k. Number 2, find x squared plus y squared if x minus 2y in bracket all raised to power 2 equals 3y squared. Number 3, 4, and 5. Yes, question 4 and 5. They are the mixture of expansion of algebraic terms and coefficients. In the course of our discussion in our previous classes, even today, I have mentioned times without number, cases of coefficients. So, I want to believe that is enough for you to be able to answer question 4 and 5. And if you now still don't get it, by the time I'm doing this, so I'm giving you the solution to the questions, then you should be able to seal it up. Thank you.